As I said, bro, this guy is a legend of the Arabic language, in my opinion, bro. Like the way he speaks Arabic is just so good. So yeah, fatha here and there, like it's minor, but I'd love to be able to speak as fluently as he speaks because the grammar stuff is easy to learn in reality. They make out the grammar to be like very, very difficult. But if you can speak the language at his level, learning grammar would be so easy.
Can he speak? Does he speak fluently, like in the podcast and so on?
Yeah, yeah, he speaks super
Really?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good. And out of two and a half years, well, this guy is inspiring to me because it just makes me understand like it is possible. You know what I mean? Like you can get to a good level in the language by
And he's
studying
not
at
like.
home, online, and you just need to just have the love for it. You know what I mean? You have to just
Like
go all in.
he's not even a Muslim, so like.
Yeah, that's the point. So he's not even got. I was saying that to my friend. He's not even got the motivation. So this guy's putting us to shame. You know, the guy is doing it for whatever personal reason he wants to do, maybe for work or love of language or love of culture or what have you. But yet we're Muslim and we have the need and the want to understand our prayers, to understand our religion, to study, to read the books of the scholars, and to benefit from the Quran.
Like we should
Yet he's going ahead of us. You know what I mean?
if he's doing that in a 2.5 years, we should take a less time to be on his level, because we have more, like,
Or even if he's gifted in language, which I assume he is good in language. So let's say I'm not good in language. I'm not. I only speak English. So I don't have a gift in language, but I should at least be as dedicated as he is. You know what I mean? It's not about the result, it's about the effort, really. Like each person, if they put in the same amount of hours, is going to get a different result because each person is different. Some people, for example, if they live in Pakistan, they speak Urdu, it will be easier for them to learn Arabic because they have all the same letters, and a lot of the words are
Mhm.
the same. Someone in China may be more difficult than an English person, for example, right?
Yeah,
Depends
yeah, yeah, could be.
on the differences, but the point is he's put in the effort. Have we really even put the effort? So to me, it's inspiring, to think like, wow. So, well, if he can do it, that's evidence. And then what did he say? He said very clearly, you need to practice. You need to listen every single day as much as you possibly can, and you need to practice speaking the language as much as you possibly can. And then you need to look at grammar as a means of fixing an issue. You know what I mean? Like how we just looked at this idea of grammar before, where we said, like if he puts a dhamma or he puts a fatha, why is that? Why does the meaning change? If I say the habtu or the habta, it has a different meaning. Okay, what is that? How does that work? Why is there a different meaning between the habta and the habtu?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And you look at that rule, you understand the rule, and then you try to practice the rule. That's basically what he did.
But I don't get his method. Like, how is he getting like near fluent? Like, but is he writing? Is he writing new words or?
Basically just listening and speaking a lot, and then looking at the grammar when it's necessary. You know what I mean? So he's just practicing every single day,
Yeah,
listening. Like, don't forget, this guy's probably doing 5 to 10 hours of practice in terms of
yeah, yeah,
listening and speaking. You know what I mean? He's studying
yeah.
Arabic in university, so he's not doing the same as what we're doing. But the point is, I believe his method is superior because look, there's an argument that people will make is that, well, he doesn't know the grammar, so he's mixing up the harakat here and there. No, but the way he speaks is very clear. Okay, maybe he doesn't put the harakat or whatever, but his understanding of the language is very, very good. Okay, now, do you think at his level, if he wants to study grammar, do you think he's gonna struggle when he's got all this vocabulary and all this
Yeah,
ability to
yeah.
express himself and understanding of the language? He can
Like,
express himself with basically almost fluently, you know?
and like
He's not gonna struggle to understand mudaf ilayhi, bro. You know what I mean?
and like
That's
also,
my
even if he goes to a grammar book, like he knows he most likely knows the vocab which is being displayed, like, to explain like the grammar.
exactly. So I think his method is superior to the method that most Muslims follow, which
And
is, hey, You don't need to practice speaking. You don't need to listen to the language. You don't need to do any of this stuff. All you need to do is just watch this like 1 hour video, which gives you the basics of grammar, and then you will understand everything by only reading. I just don't agree with that. I don't think you should just read and translate and read and translate. I don't think you
Well,
will acquire the language like a native speaker, and you when you hear the Quran, you won't understand it from just reading. You know what I mean? Just reading and grammar. I don't think so. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
what's the thing also, like if he's speaking to a native Arab who speaks Fusha like fluently, like if he messes up the grammar a bit, but like obviously the person would know what is he, what is he trying to say, and he would understand him. Like,
Yes. Yeah, but he's not messing up the grammar, to be honest. The stuff that actually matters. You need to watch this video here. I'll send it to you. This one. Because this guy here, the Asian guy, put it this way, the
stuff.
Asian guy, he went on Ustad Khasu's podcast, and Ustad Khasu was basically, of all my guests that I've had, this guy is the highest level in Arabic language.
Saqib, right? Ustad Saqib.
Yes. I think so, yeah. So you go on his channel, I'll link you this one, and it's him speaking with this brother, and bro, he's not making mistakes when he speaks. So as I'm trying to say, if you can get to this level by practicing and speaking a lot and then only looking at grammar as a means to solve a problem, you know, why is what we do need grammar, but his method of doing grammar is I should understand, for example, mudaf and mudaf ilayhi, and then I need to use it as a speaker. Like I need to use the language. Because if I just explain to you grammar after grammar after grammar concept, and then you just only read it, as you said, like when you try to actually use the language, you keep saying, for example, and I keep saying, "Oh, هل ولدت في أمريكا?" Meaning, I meant هل ولدت.
Yeah,
But when you actually, you know what the rule is, you understand the rule logically. But when you try to use the language, you don't do it correctly. All of us do this, right? I keep saying, for example, "أنا أريد أن أدرس." I know logically after "an" it should be "an adrusa." You know what I mean? But
okay.
without practicing the language, even if you know what the rule is, you mess it up. Even when I'm speaking to native speakers, they mess it up. You know?
They do.
Yeah. So that's the point. Like sometimes I have to correct it, like, or they'll make a mistake in the grammar somewhere, and I'm like, oh no, it should be like this, and they'll be like, oh yeah, yeah, you're right. So I just believe honestly that practicing is a lot more important than a lot of teachers give it
And is he
credit.
studying Arabic in the university or at home? Like,
Well, yeah, I suggest you watch this and you put the subtitles, and then you can see his story, and then you'll find out, inshallah, because you can put the subtitles, but you should listen to it. Listen to the way he speaks. He speaks very, very nicely. So I've listened to this probably like at least 5 times, this podcast.
yeah, and why?
Well,
Like,
because I love you, because you have to listen to the language a lot, bro. A lot. When I mean a lot, let me show you something super quick here. Turn this off. Uh like I have like yeah, I listen to look, I had this at the end of my okay. At the end of the year, YouTube gave me like a summary of all the stuff I've done. And this is what it said with this. So I've listened to Ustad Khasu,
mhm.
you know. Um, I watched 333 videos of
Yeah.
his
Oh,
in 1 year. And it says you are in the top 0.1% of viewers.
yeah,
So I'm not showing you, I didn't even know that. Like I wasn't aware of that. It just at the end of the year, YouTube said that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But the point is, like,
that's
you
good.
have
Yeah,
to you have to listen way more than you think. Like this guy, he said he become fluent, basically near high level in the language in only 2 years. But the idea that you think that he probably only did, for example, 20 minutes a day. No, he probably did 5 or 10, hours a day. So if he's doing
yeah.
5 or 10 hours, how long will we take to reach his level if we're only doing 20 minutes a day? So yeah, it's kind of the
So
That's what
like,
I would say about that.
so how much you need, like, can you now talk like near fluency when you speak to a native person?
Um, so for example, yesterday I spoke with the brother from Algeria for like 2 hours.
Ahmed, oh really? Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So alhamdulillah, I speak with him like every day for at least half an hour to an hour. But yesterday I spoke for 2 hours in Arabic completely. But my level is, I understand well what he's saying, but my ability to express myself is not at the same level as this Russian guy. This
yeah,
Russian guy can express himself better than I can. Like I can get my ideas out, but it's not as good. So I just need like way more time, you know.
yeah, yeah.
But don't forget, like I would say that I'm not actually very good at language. I don't know any other languages. I've never learned another language in my life. I wouldn't say that I'm that fast at languages. I would say that this brother from Russia, he even said himself, like he's good at language. I think he speaks French and he speaks English and he speaks
Mhm.
Russian, whatever that language is, and he speaks Arabic now. So he's gifted in language. You know what I mean? So you can't compare yourself in that way, but you should compare yourself in terms of how dedicated are you and I compared to this guy. So yeah,
Yeah, he's
that's what
like
I have to say.
like
He's got more
to
dedication than we have,
mm. Yeah, yeah,
probably.
mostly, yeah, yeah. Like most
Yeah.
likely, yeah, he's like.
Yeah. So I'll send you this.
And what, for example, let's say you enter a scholar video from in YouTube, you'll find some scholar speaking something in Arabic, and if you enter, could you understand this? Like because those scholars, like they are speaking very fast, like maybe like.
It depends on the scholar, and it depends on the subject. So I've come to the issue now, which I've just realized that why am I so much on saying you need to speak and practice and listen? Because as I said, I use the flashcard app. I
Mm,
read books and what have you. But bro, the more and more you do that, the harder and harder it becomes to acquire vocab. In terms of like, if I write down one word on my wall here, right? It's easy
mhm.
to remember that one. If I write down 10, I can remember 10. I keep looking at them every day. I would do 10. But if I write down 1,000, 10,000 words all over my house, each individual word is harder to remember. You know what I mean? Because they're just everywhere, all over the doors. They're just words just everywhere. And then I've never used those words, so it's hard to remember. So what I'm trying to say is when it comes to, for example, listening to something from a scholar, I understand what I'm hearing, but then when I hear a piece of vocabulary, a word I don't understand, then I don't know what it means. Even if I know this is mudaf, this is mudaf ilayhi, this is the object, this is this. So the ultimate difficulty in learning the language is not the grammar. It's you need to basically learn and understand thousands and thousands of words, you know? And you can't do that in a day. You have to do it little bit by little bit by little, right? So in order for me to for example, to understand that person's lecture, then I would go through the same process that we're doing here with
With Flona,
with
Flona.
this book or with the video that we were just doing today. What I would do is I would go through and watch the whole video. I would try to find the words I don't understand. I would try to look up those words, then try to understand what's being said. And then I will go to my teacher and I will ask him, is what I understood correct? And then if he says it's all correct, then I will probably read everything back to him and translate it, make
Uh-huh.
sure everything is correct, and then I know. Then I listen to that. Now that I know what the words mean, it doesn't mean that I have learned those words. So now what I have to do is once I've gone through and translated everything, I have to listen to the lecture again and again and again and again. And even then, even though I've translated it, I will find some words I don't understand what they mean.
Again,
Then I
right?
will go back. You know what I mean? Then I will go back and I will find out what those words mean. Then I'll listen to it again, you know,
Hmm.
until I understand everything. And now I know what those words mean.
Hmm.
Now to move to the next level, I have to try and use those words in my own
What
conversations.
like
If I can do that, then I'm happy. Then I know I understand that word now.
I think
You know?
like which method suits me is like to find like new word, like to write it down, translate it, and then like when if I use it or if I hear it and I recognize it, yeah, like that's good. then I
Yes,
think it can stick. It can stick.
yes, but don't forget that there are words that's why listening a lot is important, because if I teach you the word, I don't know, dissonance. Have you seen this word dissonance? Do you know what it
No,
means? I don't even know how to spell it. Dissonance.
I haven't. No.
Okay, it means lack of harmony among musical notes, lack of agreement or harmony between people or things. So you imagine you write down the English word dissonance,
Yeah,
and then you write down this definition.
yeah,
If you don't use, you then have to use this word. Okay, but sometimes it's difficult to use the word dissonance in all your conversations, right?
yeah,
So that's why you have to also listen a lot, because there are certain words that you'll hear in certain subjects, in certain areas, that will come up. The word dissonance may come up a lot if it's a certain subject about psychology, for example. So you find that word in there, you listen to that video many, many times, you understand what does that word mean. You don't even have to use it that much yourself.
yeah,
But for you to take this word and, I'm talking, there are thousands and thousands of words. So some words are easy, like to follow your method with, right? But there are
yeah,
some words that are just abstract, and you hardly ever use these words. And if
yeah.
I
But
ask an English person what does dissonance mean, they might not even know.
yeah, and
So
let's say I learned the dissonance, but like when it comes to talking, I like I find a way to use it. Like I made up something like just
yeah, yeah.
just to use it. Can
Yeah,
like
so
that
if you're
also work?
using these words in your conversation, and also if you're speaking with me and I use the word and you understand it, whatever method that you use to get to that goal, that's the goal. You know what I mean? That's the goal. So everyone's different. Like everyone has their own method, and you should try different methods. So if you think that this is the best method for you, then you should do the best method for you. And then if you find you don't like it or you get bored after a while, then you try something else. So that's what I'm doing. What I'm telling you now, what I do, the process that I currently follow, is because I like this process. I like listening and translating and listening
Yeah,
and practicing and using. I like that now. If I get bored of that, maybe I will just go to books and translate,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know? Sometimes you come with a method, but you get bored of it.
Yeah.
So you have to find whatever is suitable for you at the time. Anyway,
Okay,
I have to go, inshallah.
okay,
I'll
Ustad.
speak with you tomorrow, inshallah, yeah?
Okay,
Jazakallah khairan.
inshallah. Assalamu
Assalamu alaikum.
alaikum. Bye.